if you want to be on the internet forever, you can start talking now.
Hi. Shout out to ST. This is Matt.
All right. Now, back on track here. All right. Where did we leave off at yesterday?
Like 12.
10.
12. No, it's 12.
Well, I asked you to.
left off at 12.
Yeah, I asked you to go up to 27 to see, but it looks to me like did we say the answer to number 11 was?
No, it's identity.
We said it was.
Did-
we said it was.
It, okay, it was identity, right?
Yes.
Wait,
Oh,
excuse me.
yes.
I didn't get the. What's number 10?
Number 10.
I wasn't really here.
Okay, so here we go. Let's just review the properties for you real quick, okay? All right. So I'm going to erase this real quick, and then we're just going to review properties because I think that's something that's good anyway. All right. So the associative property is when the parentheses are in different spots. All right. So what do I mean by that? If I say, for example, A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C, do you think that's true?
Yes.
Always true. But what happens if I say add A plus B first and then add C, or I say add B plus C first and then add A? Is it still going to get the same answer? Yes. That's called the associative property. All right? How you're grouped. All right? The order doesn't really matter. All right? You can add A plus B first, or you can add B plus C first.
So, like, associative is just like when you get the same answer.
You'll always get the same answer. That's right. Okay? Then we're going to talk about the identity. Yesterday we said that the identity was when you take and you add 0, and that equals A. Or you could say multiply by 1, and that's going to give you what? And that's going to give you A. So that's what we call an identity. Anytime you end up with yourself, we say that's an identity. You good with this or not?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the next one is the commutative property. Commutative property is order. So if I said to you A plus B, you should be able to tell me, well, that's the same as what?
B plus A.
B plus A. Doesn't matter how you add the numbers. If I said 2 plus 3, and somebody says, no, 3 plus 2, it doesn't matter. It's the same answer. All right? These are called properties of math. Okay? Now, the substitution property is allowing you to substitute one equal thing for another equal thing. And what do I mean by that? Let's say I said x plus y, and then I said over here x was equal to 3. I could substitute in for what? X, 3. So you could say 3 plus y. That makes sense to you now? All right. That's good. All right. Again, remember, the only thing I'm asking for you guys right now is make sure you're asking me questions if you don't know something. All right? Make sure you're asking me questions. Yep. The explanation always helps. All right. Now, again, remember, this right here has nothing to do with math, right? It's just memorizing the properties, all right? So it's not a big deal, in my opinion. It's just things that you have to know on standardized tests. Yes, ma'am.
I just didn't really know whether plus signs and
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine on the properties.
Okay. All right, we're going to go down now. We'll continue on. Now, the other thing, guys, is I really want your paper in your notebook, and if you don't like it stapled, you can rip this. You can pull the staple out as well. All right, is everybody with me? All right. If you want to have it on your paper on your desk like that, that's perfectly fine as well. All right, it doesn't matter. But eventually, it's going to go in your what? It's going to be in your notebook. Okay. So here we go. Let's take a look now. So that's how we knew number 11 was B. All right. Now number 12. Tell me.
D. Wait.
Say it.
D.
Yeah, don't be shy. D, absolutely. Now, your job is to say, well, I'm not sure how you got n plus 15. Anybody have an issue with that? Right. Now, remember, let me explain something. When you're adding, you can only add numbers and numbers together. You can't add a variable and a number together. So, for example, n is a variable. The only thing we can add to n is what? N's. Does that make sense? So what I did was, all we did is we looked at this n, and it stays there. Then we take the 7 and we take the 8 and we add it together to get that 15. All right, easy explanations, very easy explanations. All right, anybody else have a problem? All right, let's take a look now at number 13. What are you thinking?
I think it's D.
I think you're right, it's D. Now, how do we know it was D? Because you're just multiplying, right? 9 times 7 is 63. 63M just means 63 times M. What you mean?
In the homework, do we do the ERV review?
Try 'em.
Okay.
They're harder though.
Is it mandatory?
Well, you're trying. All right, but I'm going to go over everything with you tomorrow, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, buddy. All right, everybody good with that? Easy, right? Easy? All right, remember now, I can't help you. I'm not a mind reader, so if you don't know something, it's your fault if you don't speak up. All right, here we go. Okay, now something you kind of learned, I think, at the end of the year last year. All right, but there's a few things on here you didn't know. Now, what I wanted you to do is if you didn't know what domain meant, then you could just look it up. Look up domain and see what it says. It's very easy definition. Very easy definition. If you looked it up, when you saw domain, and you said, I don't know what domain is, and you skipped the problem, then we're having a little bit of problems, right? If you have an older brother or an older sister, and you say, I don't know what domain is, and they come down and they tell you, is that good enough? Yes, that's good. You should use your siblings if they can help you. You should let them help you. If your parents can help you, let them help you. All right? So now, what I want to talk about quickly right here is the 5. What letter corresponds to 5? Tell me.
X.
X. What represents the 3? Chloe, do you remember? What is it? That is exactly correct. All right? So now I'm going to say one more thing. And these are the kinds of notes I want you to add on here if you're good at a math student. These are the little things that you have to understand the vocabulary to get to the harder problems. All right? So when someone says, what is the domain? They are simply asking what?
What is X?
What are the X values? That is exactly right. So the domain, all you have to do is think of that as the X values. All right? And then pretty soon they're going to ask you about the range. Now, one definition of range is remember the difference between the high and the low. That was something you did last year with mean, median, mode, range. There's multiple definitions for range. The range is the what? That's right, the Y values. Think of it like that. And I always tell kids, how do you remember that? Well, you remember that because they're written in alphabetical order. D comes before R, X comes before what? Y. All right, yes, sir.
When you mean domain and range, how can you like on number 16? I didn't.
Well, we'll get there. I promise you. We'll get there. All right, don't worry about it. We're going to take good care of you. We're only on 14 right now. So when you're plotting a point, remember you always go X first and then the what? And then the Y. All right? So what was the correct answer for 5-3? Everybody tell me. E, the letter E, which is C in this case. Is everybody okay with that? Because we went what? We go down, or you find the X coordinate first, and then you find the what? Then you find the Y coordinates. How's that, guys? That's pretty easy. Very simple. Yes, ma'am.
So by the point, they just mean the letter.
Yes. The letter that corresponds to that point.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right. So now I want everybody to find K. So I'm looking at K, and I see K right here. And I go down, and what number does that correspond to?
4.
4. So the only possible answer is what?
4/7.
4-7, right? Which was D. But just to make sure you understand, we're going to go this direction for the Y value is 7. Everybody happy with that, right?
Yes.
I agree. Simple, simple. All right, now, here was the hard one. Tell me about it.
So it's just the X value, right?
All we're doing is looking for the X values. Which one of these, A, B, C, or D, has 1, 2, 5, 6 with the X values?
B.
Everybody look at B. Let's see if he's right. All right, that's what we think the answer is. All right, so look right here. The X value, 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6. Look how simple that is. That is referred to as the what? Domain. If I said, what's the range of letter B? Chloe, tell me what the range would be.
6, 1, 6, 4.
Exactly. 6, 1, 6, and 4. All right, now listen to me. When you're listing out the domain and range, you don't have to repeat the numbers. Okay? So it's not necessary to say 6 twice. Okay? Even though it's not wrong if you do. All right? And usually you put them in numerical order also. Yes, ma'am.
I'm confused what you just said about how you don't say the same thing twice and you
Okay.
do it in
Okay, so she said, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write the range. I want everybody to write the range. I would want you to write the range as 1, 4, and 6. Yeah, see, and you're not wrong. You didn't say it wrong, right? It's just in math, we don't, when we make a list of the domain or the range, we don't repeat the values. And usually write them in numerical order. She said the answer was 6, 1, 6, 4. That's totally fine with me, right? But we can do better. And doing better, I just mean that there's no reason to write the 6 twice. Did that help you?
I was so confused because then it kind of like change your answer if like another problem had it in order.
No, because it's just a list of numbers. Very good question. So all I'm saying is, what are the y values in that set? The y values in that set are just 1, 4, and 6. Not in any particular order. You hear what I'm saying?
Is that what they did with 1, 2, and 5, 6?
No. But I mean, it kind of, but it just is a coincidence that they're in the right numerical order.
You want us to do it 1, 4, 6.
Yes, there you go. I would like for you to say 1, 4, 6. But again, like I said, it's not wrong if you don't. It's just sometimes in math we do standard things like this. We say 3x. We never say what? X3. You know what I mean? We just don't write that way. It's not wrong to say X3, it's just we don't write that way. You agree with me? You understand what I'm saying? All right. Yes, ma'am.
So as like an answer, like as an option A, B, C, or D, it doesn't matter what order they're in as long as they have the right numbers.
That's correct. All right. Go ahead.
And also, it doesn't have to be in numerical order. Like
No. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Yes.
Is our test only on this chapter? Or is it going to be on other?
Chapter 1.
Okay.
All of this.
Okay.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Of course you can. Remember, anytime you have to use the restroom, you guys are so good. The restroom is over there. You don't even have to ask me. I prefer that you not ask me. Just go take care. Go back quickly as you can get back. All right? Everybody's good. All right? All right, let's take a look now at 17. All right, some of my kids earlier had a little bit of problems with this. Let's see how good you guys are for this. All right? Which ordered pair would appear in the graph of the data? What did you say?
B.
B, 12, 0. I'm happy with that, right? Now, how do we know 12, 0? Because there's an X value and then a Y value. All right, somebody tell me another ordered pair. Tell me. The next one would be what?
12.
Nope.
I mean,
We just listed this one. What's the next one?
4, 16.
You said it backwards
16, 4.
because we want the X first and then the Y. Say the next one.
28.
That's right, 20, 8. And then the last one,
24.
24, 12. That's very easy, guys. Those are the ordered pairs. All right. Now, what is the rule? Believe it or not, some people had a little trouble with this. I didn't think this was that hard, but some people did have some trouble. What are you thinking?
A.
A, right? How do we know it was A? Because you're just asking yourself the question, how did I get from 12 to 0? Did I subtract 12? Did I multiply by 12? Did I add 12 and divide by 12? What did you do? Obviously, you what? You subtracted 12. How did I know that? Think of this now, guys. Now I'm gonna make sure you're hearing me now, so listen carefully. See this X, 12, right? I put it in here for this X. What's 12 minus 12?
0.
That's why that came good. Then if I plug 16 in for X, what's 16 minus 12? 4. That's how they got this answer. And then we plug in 20 for x. If I plug in 20 for x, what's 20 minus 12?
8.
That's where we go. Does everybody see that now, right?
Yeah.
You're just trying to figure out what did we do to x to get to y. That's what they're asking. What?
I just got a little confused because I thought I was asking like, what did you do to get from first x?
Well, now you're
12 to 24?
you're unconfused now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Told you I was good at my job.
Number.
Here we go. Hold on.
I didn't really get number 17.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to tell you this real quick. Look how easy this is. These, now see if you're hearing me, are the x values, correct? And these down here are the y values. You agree with that? Now, this is how you write them as a table. We can also write them on a graph, which is what we did up here. And we can also write them as ordered pairs, like we did here for like D. Those are ordered pairs. So the ordered pair that corresponds to that table would be 12, 0, 16, 4. Does that make sense now? 20, 8, and 24, 12. You with me on this? That's all it is. Those are just the ordered pairs. Of course, go.
For the number 18,
Okay.
you did, since it's x minus 12, then you have to do 12 minus 16.
No, I didn't do 12 minus 16. So here, look, again, I'm going to show you something. It seems like it's tricky, but it's very easy. This right here is an x coordinate. Do you agree? This is also an x. This is also an x. This is also an x. So what rule did I subtract 12, multiply by 12, add 12, or divide by 12? If I start with 12, how do I get to 0?
You minus 5.
Right, so I did 12 minus 12 equals 0. Now I start with 16. 16 minus 12, what's that?
4.
That's that answer right here. And then I plug in what? 20 minus 12, and guess what that is?
8.
That's that answer. You see what I'm saying, right? Good questions, guys. Quick.
This isn't really on this, but for the YouTube thing, are you gonna put the date on there so we can find it?
Well, I think it automatically dates it.
Yeah, if you look at the description.
Right.
Never mind.
Okay, thank you very much, because we got to go. So the correct answer was A. All right. Now, what is the range? What is the range? What's the range? Do you remember? That's question number 19. 0, 4, 8, 12. I'm proud of you. All right, C is correct. All right, C is correct. It's the y values. That's all it meant. So what did I do? I looked up at my table, and I just found all the y values, 0, 4, 8, 12. Yes, ma'am.
Is range always y value?
Yes, very good. The range is always the y values. Does range have more than one meaning, though?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you just have to be careful. All right, actually, a couple kids missed this one. Michaela, right? Tell me.
The answer is 5.
Yes, the answer is definitely 5.
It's just 30.
Is everybody okay with that? Every 6 hours is 1 ream of paper. Is everybody good with that?
That's my question.
What is
Dan.
Dan? Okay, thank you. All right. All right. Anybody else have a question with that? Come on now. Several people in the last class missed it. Everybody here got this one correct, right? All right, good. You're good thinking then. All right, good thinking. All right, let's check out 21. 21 should be kind of easy for us. Come on, who hasn't said anything today? I want everybody to speak up for me. Tell me. 31, I think you're correct. Tell me your first name again. I'm so sorry. Abby. All right, Abby. Thank you. I'm trying to get better. Abby. All right. Anybody have any questions with that? Because we're just doing what? Adding 6, right? All right. What about 22. Now this one, you don't know how to do it mathematically, but you should be able to say, the only one with odd numbers is what?
D.
Come on, man. The only ones with odd numbers are D. Because 0 and 32 are what? Even. 16 and 16 is what? Even. 12 is what? So that's what we're going to teach you how to take standardized tests better. Even if you don't know how to do the problem, the best thing to do is try to eliminate possibilities. And then before you know it, you know what the answer is. You may not have even understood the question. All right? So that's a good technique. All right, so I'm sure everybody understood this. So correct answer for 23, class, is? A. Anybody have any questions? All right, 23 was A. What about 24?
C.
Everybody happy with C? Now look, if you thought the answer was A or B or D, just let me know. Everybody's comfortable with C, right? All right, now let's practice some mental math here. 25. Look up on the board. You should be practicing your mental math. First thing I have to do is what?
Subtract 12
And what is that?
8.
And then what?
And then you multiply 6 and 8.
Uh-oh.
No, wait, just kidding.
Just kidding. Tell me the right answer.
You add.
Yes.
8 and
You're adding 8 and 3 because it's in the parentheses. I know people like to see if I'm paying attention. I appreciate that. All right? So then you do what's inside the parentheses. All right? And then finally you do what?
You multiply.
That's correct. And what was the answer?
I didn't get it right.
Well, tell me now. Now you're doing the mental math. Come on, let her go.
66.
You're awesome. See, look at that. Easy, right? Yes, sir.
I got it wrong, but when it means the brackets.
Brackets are the same as parentheses.
Yeah, I know that, but why would you multiply after, if there's like nothing there, would you multiply?
So I don't, see in here, there's no operation between the 6 and the bracket, right? So I told you if there's no operation, it means what? That's exactly right. Multiplication. Don't be sorry. Everything is good. Everybody okay with it being 66? All right, PEMDAS. All right, so now let's see you do 26. What'd you get?
I got
A. Anybody else agree with A? Everybody? That's pretty easy, right? All right, I'm happy with you. All right. Anybody have any issues? All right, let's check out 27. Let's see how smart we are.
I didn't have an issue with it,
Tell me then.
but so you would divide like 12 into 24
Yes,
if it was.
that's right. Now, again, this is one of the things that everybody should listen to now. This is the one case. Remember when we said we should do division before we do subtraction, right? But when you have a fraction bar, you have to do what? You do the top first. Listen carefully. You do the top first. Then you do the what? Then you do the bottom. Then you do the what? Division. It's kind of like there's parentheses here and parentheses here. Okay? And last one, number 27. Uh-oh, how many? Hold on, you got to listen to me now. How many inches in a foot? 12. How many feet in a yard?
3.
How many inches in a yard?
36.
Wow, you guys are awesome. So the correct answer had to be? Wow, pat yourself on the back. All right, guys, am I right? That really wasn't that hard, but we did learn a few things about properties especially. Do we agree?
So I didn't translate each phrase into algebraic expression.
Which one are you talking about?
Number 27, I didn't turn it into algebra.
We did. An expression. This is an algebraic expression. 36x is the expression. All right, the expression is just a combination of variables and numbers. All right, and an expression does not involve an equal sign. But again, you could be able to look at the A, B, C, D and tell me that. All right, is everybody happy with that, right? Okay, so now I want you tonight, and you can, if a group, if you like each other, you want to work together a little bit, double check yourselves. Tonight I want you to try to finish everything up. Now, again, you see over here, that's what the Algebra 1 kid came in and said, do I have to do the ERBs? And of course you have to do what? ERBs. I'm trying to make you smarter when you take a standardized test. So you have to try those. Are they a little bit harder?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know how to do them, is it a problem? No, you just got to try them, though. You got to try them, and then we'll talk about them tomorrow. Yes, sir.
What was the first, the whole pack?
The whole packet. That's your job. And we have how many more minutes? 11 minutes, I think. So that means you got some time. Get busy. And like I said, work together. All right, if you need to. All right.